Hi, everybody. It's Eric, and I'm here in beautiful Seattle with my good friend and PsychSessions co-host, Garth Neufeld. We just spent a day talking about the future of PsychSessions, thinking about programming, marketing, and promotion, our partners, the work we want to do, prioritizing some things that are coming up later in 2024. And it's a pleasure to be here, buddy.
Yeah, it really is good to be together. Remember those pandemic times when we all weren't together?
Yeah, I do remember those.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about PsychSessions is that, and it's really thanks to you, buddy, we upped our programming during the pandemic. Actually, we released an entire series on pivot teaching through PsychSessions. We released a series about equity, diversity, and inclusion after George Floyd. And so the cool thing, I know you were just talking about the pandemic parenthetically, but one of the cool things about what we do is that even a pandemic didn't stop our programming. We actually increased it during the pandemic.
Whenever we have meetings like this, Eric, we kind of take stock as in where we've come from and where we're going. And one of the things that I didn't tell you, but I was like, it kind of made my brain melt for a second, was that I think we're in our 8th year of PsychSessions.
We are. This is our 8th season. So we actually first met in March of 2017 here in Seattle, actually at the Highline College campus. And then, so if you count by seasons, we counted 2017 as season 1, which puts us in 2024 in season 8.
Yeah, that's incredible. We've had crossing the threshold of 250,000 downloads.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about this before. If I take all the publications in my entire career and think about number of downloads, number of times they've been cited, maybe even the number of times they've been read, I have a hard time imagining more than 10,000 people reading what I've written over a 35-year career. But in approximately 8 years, we've had 250,000 downloads of something that you and I created together, along with a lot of other people, a lot of guests, a lot of co-hosts. And so it's been a pretty remarkable ride, don't you think?
I do. And if you remember when we were in South Carolina, I think we were going to interview Charles Brewer.
That's exactly right.
We made a joke that what was the joke? We made a deal that we've actually never even followed through on at all.
It was something about...
It was the cost of tequila, I think.
Yeah, at 50,000 downloads, we were going to drink $50 tequila. At 100,000 downloads, we were going to drink $100 shots of tequila. And I don't think either you or I drink that much. And so we have not spent your money and our donors' money on that, our sponsors' money. But it's a fine idea.
It is a fine idea, but I'll tell you what, if you said to me, hey, you can have a $250 ounce of anything, and maybe gold, I'd take gold, but anything that I was supposed to drink for that amount of money, I sure wouldn't, but I do celebrate the idea.
Yeah, it's a good one. And so it's just a pleasure to kind of give our listeners a brief update on what's going on. I think in 2024, watch out for emails, for posts on social media about opportunities to get involved with us. We're going to be launching some things about paid opportunities to be involved with us. We're always looking to increase our programming. We've got 5 or 6 new shows in the hopper right now. We've got guests and hosts who are working on making more recordings. For an 8-year-old who's in 3rd grade, we seem to be doing pretty well. I think we're thriving for the most part.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a good metaphor. The way we're thinking about PsychSessions and the future of PsychSessions is different now than it was even a couple years ago. It just changes because we have new ideas, but we also have new relationships with people. one of the things that we did in the last couple of years is we started to think about an advisory board. And so we pulled together an advisory board of people who have been around and they've seen a lot. And they are going to help us serve this community of teachers of psychology in the best way that we possibly can. We're talking about bringing in affiliates to join us in sharing the work of PsychSessions, to be able to put their fingerprint on what is going on here. The truth is that Eric and I have never thought that we could do this by ourselves, and now more than ever, we think it's time to just open up PsychSessions and let it be an organization that serves teachers of psychology, but also is served by teachers of psychology. And that's really an exciting pivot for us.
Yeah, and I just want to mention two more things before we sign off. One is, and thanks to you, Garth, we have a 200th episode coming up. I believe it'll be released in June, if I remember the timeline correctly, where you got to interview Elliot Aronson. And so we're going to do a more than normal effort in promoting our 200th episode to celebrate that accomplishment, but also to celebrate Dr. Aronson's contributions to psychology, to sociology, to our understanding of social psych. And so our fans and our listeners, please be watching out for that. Do you want to preview a tidbit about that episode, or maybe one of your favorite memories from that interview?
Well, I'll just tell you, the things that get me excited about teaching psychology is taking psychology out into the world and having it make a meaningful impact in people's lives. And here is a guy who did this for his entire career. And the stories that he tells and what he has been through, and sometimes it was costly for him to do that. And so we may see his name behind some really famous studies, behind cognitive dissonance, behind the jigsaw classroom, encounter groups, some of these things that he has done throughout his life. We may see his contribution to psychology in that way, but his contribution to society was massive. He was instrumental in some of the desegregation that went on in Texas at a certain point of time. It's just an unbelievable story. I can't wait to share it with people. By the way, his book, his memoir, is also unbelievable. That's what I read before I met him and interviewed him. And let me remember the title.
It's The Social Animal, right?
No, that's his textbook, his social psychology textbook.
Okay.
And now all I'm thinking about is Mistakes Were Made, but Not by Us.
But that's Carol Tavris.
That was his book with Tavris, yes. Yeah. And his memoir, I can't remember it. It's the greatest. We're going to give some away, actually. I think that's the plan of that particular book. But Elliot Aronson, he's 92 years old. He and his wife both live together independently. They live together, but they live independently in Santa Cruz, California. Had the opportunity to visit him. He's still writing The Social Animal, new editions of The Social Animal. He's writing with his son now. And it's just exciting to see somebody thrive for so long. So I know you asked me, now the floodgates are open, but that was it.
What I love about that is that your excitement, your face lights up, and that you can hear it in Garth's voice about, the opportunity to go and visit with him and interview him in his home. And I think this is kind of the special thing that PsychSessions gets to do from time to time. We get a sneak peek into the internal lives of these leading psychologists across the country, across the world. And we're ever so grateful for our listeners and our supporters, our donors, our sponsors, and keep looking for new and exciting things to happen in 2024 and beyond. In fact, Garth and I even spent a little bit of today talking about a 5-year plan. And so we plan on being around, maybe not kicking and screaming, but collaborating and podcasting for quite some time.
Yes, and I thought about the book name, Eric. While you're talking, I'm sorry, I went to a different place. I'm sure everybody else was engaged.
You always do.
Yes.
You always do.
Well, our dinner is going to be fun after this, isn't it? That the book is called, and you're going to love this, Eric, Not by Chance Alone. Elliot Aronson.
He gets it.
Yeah, he gets
Not by chance alone.
Yeah.
And I think someday I'm gonna do a whole podcast or maybe an interview about luck and the role of luck. Because the more I read things, and maybe it's just my bubble, the more I read things, the more people tend to agree with my viewpoint. Maybe I should read some things that are outside my bubble. But
you're in an echo chamber.
It's not about luck. Luck is the thing we say because we don't want to be braggadocious.
Well, and we also have different words for what people mean by luck.
Right.
I think privilege would
right.
be a
fortune,
piece of that.
And fortunate, there can be coincidence, there can be good fortune, and you're absolutely right about
synchronicity.
Privilege.
How do you feel about synchronicity?
Okay, I think our time's up, buddy.
Okay,
all right.
all right.
I think you just ended this.
Well,
sidebar.
I think I want to be invited on episode 1 to talk about synchronicity.
Isn't that an album by The Police?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is.
Yeah, that's how old school I am.
Yeah.
When Sting was Sting.
Well, folks, it has been a great day here in Seattle, wherever you're at and listening to this today. I hope that things are going very well for you. I hope that you are engaged in teaching, and please continue to listen to the PsychSessions podcast. If you're not on our newsletter yet, go to PsychSessions.org. Sign up for the newsletter. We tell you about the episodes that are coming out. We tell you about any features we have, like our 2-minute videos, and also our monthly newsletter comes out that way, so you can stay in the loop.
Yeah, I think all you got to do is go to PsychSessions.org and then scroll to the bottom of that landing page, and you'll find a quick place just to enter the email that you desire, and that's the way that we can stay in touch with you.
And as always, feel free to reach out to us at psychsessionspodcast@gmail.com, and we will be in touch with you all very soon. Thanks.